Hello and welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to be showing you my Nordic deck. It is a personal deck to me. I made this deck around a year and a half ago, simply because I love the Nordics and I love Nordic mythology and I thought it would be really fun to make. I've played this deck ever since and I consider it to be one of the best ones I've ever made. Maybe not the best in the world, who knows. Anyway, let's get into it with the monsters. First I run 3 Nordic Beasts Goldovax. Goldovax the Nordic Beasts. Now, his effect, he's a tuner. He's a beast tuner, and his effect is if your opponent controls a synchro monster and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card. So really good for a special summon. Next is, please forgive me, I don't know how to pronounce some of these cards, they're really impronounceable. Tangajoster of the Nordic Beasts. He's a beast, and his effect is when a monster you control is destroyed by battle and sent to your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. Once per turn, when this defense position card is on the field, is changed to attack position. You can special summon 1 Nordic Beast monster from your deck in defense position except Tangajoster or the Nordic Beast. So in other words, if I was to switch him into attack position, I can special summon Goldovax. Quite a nice combo there. Next, I run 3 Tanzanias of the Nordic Beasts. Tanzania again is one of those useful cards. What he does, if he is destroyed a battle, he'll send to the graveyard, special summons 2 Nordic Beast token to a Beast's Earth level 3, attack 0, defense 0. Good for the later cards. Next are Gamar. I run 3 of them. Gamar, if this card battles a level 4 or lower monster after damage calculation, you can return the monster to the hand. So if he was to battle, say, I don't know, Tanzania will be returned to the hand if Gamar is destroyed by battle. Next, I run 2 into the next ones. We have Ascendants. So we have Vandis of the Nordic Ascendants, 2 of them. She classes as any synchro monster when it comes to Nordics. So she should be any tuner Nordic you like. Next is 2 Mimir of the Nordic Ascendants. Mimir, once per turn at the start of your standby phase, if you control a Nordic monster, you can send this card to your graveyard. You can send 1 spell from your hand to the graveyard, special summon him. Next is Valkyrie of the Nordic Ascendants. Valkyrie is one of the interesting ones in the deck. What she does is, this card is not treated as a Valkyrie. She's a tuner. When this card is almost summoned, if you control a monster when your opponent controls no monsters, you can banish 2 monsters you can banish 2 Nordic monsters from your hand, special summon 3, I don't know how to pronounce that, 2 tokens, which are Warriors, Earth level 4, 1000 attack, 1000 defense, in defense position. So you have a 2, 4 and a 4, equaling 10. We'll come back to that later. I'll come back to that later. Next on to the Alphas. 1 Marat of the Nordic Alphas. To be honest, I don't really use him very often. But his effect is, he's also a tuner. When using a synchro material, the synchro materials must be 2 Nordic in from your hand. Which isn't really, it's useful, but only if you play your cards right. Next to the card I very rarely play, I didn't use it for synchro material, is a tuner called Salvataf of the Nordic Alphas. When this card is normally summoned, you can target 1 Nordic monster in your graveyard and that target to your hand. So, if I had, say, Valkyrie in the graveyard, I would simply, when it's a normal summon, bring her back to my hand. Really handy card if you're trying to get things. I very rarely use it because, like I said, I use it mainly for synchro material. Next is Lajorf of the Nordic Alphas. Lajorf, when this card is normal summon, you can target 1 face-up monster you control, except this card, special summon 1 Nordic monster from your hand with level less or equal to that card. So level 4, so you can just say, summon level 4, so you can summon any card with level 4 or lower. Next is 3 Dvergs of the Nordic Alphas. Dverg is really good for an opening hand. After you normal summon this card, you can normal summon 1 Nordic monster during your main phase this turn, in addition to a normal summon / set. And there's another effect I never really understood, so I'll leave it out for now. If you know how it works, leave a comment. Next is Tyr of the Nordic Champion. Again, Tyr is good because he's got 2000 attack, 2000 defense, no sacrifices, but he's got a hell of an effect. Your opponent monster cannot target any other cards for attack except this one, so you gotta go for Tyr first. But If there's no other Nordic monsters in your field, destroy the card. Going on to a random card that isn't a Nordic is the Satellite Cannon. The reason I run the Satellite Cannon is because I find it really useful in some situations. Its effect is, this card cannot be destroyed by battle with a level 7 or lower monster. During each of your end phases, the card gains 1000 attack. If this card attacks, the increased attack returns to 0 and damage calculation. After damage calculation. So in other words, if he's on the go turn for 8 end phases, he'll be on 8000. If he attacks, he'll go back to 0. Really handy card for whittling down your opponent. Next, go on to spells. The Axe of Despair. Increase any monster by 1000. Dark Hole. No, that does. It destroys all monsters on the field. Monster Reborn. Bring back a monster. Big Bang Shot. Increase any card by 400 attack, and also he deals piercing damage. 2 MSTs. Mirror Force. You know that does. Destroy all attack position monsters. Shadow Spell. Gravity Bind. The reason Gravity Bind is in it is for one of the synchro monsters. It's really a good combo. Next is 2 Nordic Relic Majinjord. Target 1 Aether or Nordic monster you control. Its attack and defense can double but cannot attack directly, and that's only till the end of the turn. Now what the Aethers are, they'll come back to that in a minute, because I've got to get there. And 2, next one, Gleipnir of the Fetters of Fenrir. Add 1 Nordic monster from your deck to your hand. Nice, easy one. Going into extras. Here comes the Aethers. So first, 2 Odin, Father of Aether. Odin is one of my go-to cards. Excuse me. Because he is easy to get out. For example, let me give you a few examples of what you can do. Where is he? Valkyr, really handy card. Because if you get 2 tokens out for a level 10, so that'll be 4, 4, 2, 10. Odin's out. Odin's effect. Once per turn you can make this card unaffected by spells or traps effect till the end of the turn. Once per turn during the end phase, if this card you controlled was destroyed by your opponent's card sent to the graveyard, you can banish 1 Nordic Ascendant, so preferably her, to bring him back. Also you draw a card if you do that. Next, now, going on to going back to some of the spells. The reason I play Gravity Bind and Dark Hole is because they're really useful cards. So if you activate Dark Hole and then you first activate his effect, so he cannot be targeted by spells or traps, activate Dark Hole, you wipe out your opponent's entire board and all of your monsters, but Odin stays. Also Gravity Bind works similarly. Level 4 higher monsters cannot attack. Activate his effect, only he can attack. Really interesting combos. Next is 2 copies of Thor, Lord of Aether. Thor is similar to Odin, but what he does, once per turn you can negate the effect of all face-up monsters your opponent controls till the end of the turn. Once per turn during the end phase, if this card was destroyed by battle or sent to the graveyard, banish 1 Nordic Beast, special summon him. Inflict 800 damage to your opponent if you don't do that, so you can bring him back like Odin. Next is Loki, Lord of Aether. Loki is like, again, similar effects. Instead, this time, once per turn during a battle phase, quick effect, you can negate the activation of a spell or trap. Again, and at the end, if he's destroyed, banish an Alpha, which there are plenty of them in there, and bring him back. Next are 2 interesting cards. Bellazeus of the Diabolic Dragons. Now again, Bellazeus is obviously not a Nordic card, but still, Bellazeus is just so damn handy. He requires 1 Dark Tuner and 2 non-tuner cards, so he's a level 10. Cannot be destroyed with battle or card effect. Other monsters you control cannot attack. Once per turn you can target 1 monster your opponent controls. Any battle damage with your opponent takes from any battle damage your opponent takes from an opponent's controls. Any battle damage your opponent takes involving this card is halved. So if I was attacking to Odin, by example, if I was attacking to, I don't know, say, random card, Valkyr, it'd be 3600, that'd be sliced in half, so whatever the math is, you do it. And then also, if you do, change that monster attack to 0. So technically, if you were to attack into a monster, you would just deal 4000 damage, but that'd be sliced in half to 2000. If you do, gain life points equal to the original attack. Next, I like to call his younger brother, Beelzy of the Diabolic Dragons. Similar to Bellazeus, I would say he's better, but weaker. Cannot be destroyed by battle card effect. If this card takes damage from an attack involving this card or from an opponent's card effect, this gain equal half. So he gains the attack and it was equal to half. Going into XZ's monsters is Dark Rebellion XZ's Dragon. Requires 2 level 4 monsters. You can detach XYZ material from this card. Target one face-up monster you and opponent controls. Attacks is half and its current attack is added on. So if I was to target, say, Bellazeus would lose half his attack in 2000 and he would gain 2000. So I would take him up to 4500. It's a really handy card in tight situations and quite easy to get out. Next and last is 3 Gullvigs of the Nordic Ascendants. The Gullvig is the engine. She is the ignition and the key and everything to it. What she does, which I will show you also the combinations after this. You can banish up to 3 cards from your hand or field. So you can banish 1, 2 and 3. Special summon from your deck 3 Nordic monsters. And then that opens up so many possibilities with your extra. You can get out Odin, you can get Thor, you can get out Loki, you can get out Bellazeus. You can get them all out in literally one go. It's really a good opening move. Obviously it can be easily countered, but not if you're going first. It's quite rare. Obviously if they have an Ash, that's obviously an issue. So I'll be back in 2 minutes and I'll show you some combinations. Okay, welcome back. So here we go. Now let's put all these back and we'll shuffle up our deck. As I say, this deck works 99% of the time, I'd like to say. The opening hand is always really good because it's got so many combinations you can go into. Let me just make sure these are all nicely shuffled. There we go. There we go. Get them all together. Give them a cut. And here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We pretend we're going first for this one, then we go second, and we'll do another one when we're going second. There you go. Right. Here are my cards. What do we do? Simple. This will actually be a better hand if we were going second, not going to lie. But it's going to be used for going first. First, I would normal summon Kanga Joster or the Nordic Beasts. Link him. For Gullvig. Oop, wrong way around. 1 second. For Gullvig or the Nordic Ascendants. Gullvig's effect, banish 3 cards from the field or hand. Special summon 3 Nordic monsters. Now these 2 are practically useless in your hand, the dead cards, so 1, 2. I recommend getting rid of the link. Simply to get more links out later. So that's 3 cards banished. Now I'll go to my deck. A good one for Odin is Lajarf and Valkyr, which equals 4 and 2 for 10. So link synchro these 3. Get out Odin. Father of Aesir. Odin's already out, big advantage. So set 1, now set Darkhold, just for a bluff, end my turn. That is a good opening go. If he summons a monster, I would draw for turn. I think, okay, well, how am I going to get past him? Won't deal damage to him. Activate Odin's effect, knock target by spells traps. Activate Darkhold. Darkhold activates, destroys his entire cards, except for Odin. Attack directly for 4000. That's one way you can do it. Right, now we'll move on to the next way. Yes, sort out all these. Go. Now we're going to pretend we're going second. Let's just get all the cards back, and I'll show you a good opening board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. I'm pulling back, sorry. Right. Now, the only thing that's a bad hand because it's all monsters. It's not. So you draw. Brilliant. Right, what you need to do is first summon Valkyrie the Nordic Ascendants. We could activate her effect if he hasn't summoned monsters and you control the monsters to banish 2, bring out 2 tokens. Excellent way. But if he does control tokens, we pretend he does for this. We link the Gullvig. Goldwing's effect, banish 3 to get 3, so 1, 2, and 3. In order to bring out... This time we go for someone different, so we go Goldovax, Gamar, and where's the Mamiya. So we go 1, 2 and a level 4, and level 2 for 10. Synchro all 3 of them. For Thor. So Thor's on the field, again, massive advantage. True, you could have counters for it, but if he does an effect he can use, you can disable that effect this turn. So you're pretty much safe when it comes to attacking a monster, but if you have spells and traps, you may be in a bit of trouble. Don't worry. If you don't want to play like that, you go back a few steps, we get Odin out. By banishing different cards, obviously. Won't do that yet. And we're set 1. Activate effect, not target by spells and traps, so you're safe from Mirror Force, safe from Swords of Revealing Light, you're safe from it all. So attack, destroyed. Then maybe chain it with Gravity Bind, stopping his monsters from attack, and so only Odin can technically attack. It's another way of doing it. There's so many different combinations with this deck, but it all revolves around the Link monster. You need to get that Link monster out or draw something really good to special summon. I'll show you one more way for a different version. Obviously you can come up with different variants. So, shuffle. So we'll say we go in the first again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, it's 5. Let's see. Go again. Not bad at all. Now, again, maybe you think that's a terrible hand, but it's not. You almost summon Vandis, link off Vandis for Goldwing. Banish 3, so say you, because you got a sacrifice, and that's a tough one. I personally would choose Monster Reborn. I know that sounds stupid, but not really, because Odin can bring himself back. So, I would choose from the extras, 1 Valkyria, Gamar, and finally the Jarf, 2 level 4s and level 2 Tuna. And it has to be an Ascendant, she is an Ascendant, so synchro them into Odin. Chain him, equip him with these 2, Big Bang Shot, increases him by 400, now deals piercing damage. And also he's now increased by 1,000, so he's now on 5,400. But there is a catch. If you activate the effect, these 2 do not activate. So you're back on 4,000 because they are equipped, because he is being targeted. You've got to remember that. So if you attack, you are at a risk if you equip things to him. If you don't attack, then you've got quite a heavy defense. But if he had a monster say face down, you attack into that, that's a lot of damage. What was it? Yeah, Valkyria. Yeah, so that's another way you can do it. There are literally countless amounts of ways you can do this. And that's about it, really. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a thumbs up, a like. Wait, no, there's a thumbs up. Leave a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Check out my good friend Jamie Jokes' channel for more Yu-Gi-Oh! And Duel Links content. Hope you enjoyed the profile, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!